Now let's finish to block all the volumes of our thorax. Let's start to block the abdomen area. Notice the arrow format of the abdomen that include the abdomen muscles and the bottom of the rib cage. Let's add a smooth detail from the ribs on this part of the body. Just a little bit volume. Let's not exaggerate this volume of the ribs. Now let's add the volume of the butt. Remember the butterfly format of the muscles of the butt. Let me flatten this area because on the thread we don't have too much volume in this flattened area. Because the volume don't start in the iliac crest, this inclination on the back of the character start on the middle of the thorax and go to the end bottom of the butt. Now let's add the volume on the front of the pelvis that will represent the sexual organ of our character. Now adding more volume to the pelvis. Let's bring the chest a little bit forward. Now let's draw the format of the oblique muscle. Notice that I am creating the bottom of the oblique muscle in the semi direction of the fibers of this muscle. Now let's add a little bit of volume to this muscle. Let's add more volume to the six-pack muscles and blend better with the rib cage. Now I'm creating the division of these muscles, and with the standard I created the format of the end of the shoulder blade area. Adjusting better the muscles of the butt. Notice that I am creating this flattening area in the inner side of the legs, and this shape is coming from the rib bone front tip. Let's add more volume to the leg in the front. As you can notice, the leg is not a perfect circle rounded shape, but it's larger in the side view in comparison with the front view. Let's write the shoulder and arm. Notice that I used the width of the shoulder to find the right position of the latissimus dorsi. Remember, latissimus dorsi needed to link on the arm, so with that we can find the latissimus dorsi position. Right now I'm creating the volume of the latissimus dorsi over the bottom tip of the shoulder blade. So the bottom tip of the shoulder blade is hidden by the latissimus dorsi. Now let's apply a zero measure to our base mesh. And just this, let's apply some projections and delete our older version. Now we can proceed with the zero meshed subtool. Now I'm using the S format of the body, but it's still not perfect. I need to adjust this again. Every time you are modeling, you need to check and recheck the rules to see if your model is okay with the proportions. And we will not solve all the problems of your model at once. So you need to model, and each detail that you add to your model, you try to check and recheck your model with the rules. I'm just now creating this cut on the arm and the legs, just to look more beautiful and create a better finishing to my model. Now let's work on the muscles of the neck and add more refinement to these muscles. Notice that my shoulder blade is too bigger on the side view. I need to fix that and we'll do that in the future. Now let's carve here to increase the perception of the clavicle. Notice where my clavicle is ending and linking with the shoulder blade. Now let's add more volume to the trapezius. I am fixing the format of the trapezius, and notice the trapezius is linked to the clavicle near to the triangle on the front, near to the triangle hole on the front of the body. Now adding some fibers in the direction of the muscles. Notice the fibers in the rhomboid muscle. Now adding the volume of the erectus spinae. Now let's add the division in the latissimus dorsi created by the erectus spinae. These two big volumes on the back. Now let's add some volume to them using clay tubs. Let's increase the definition of the sacrum. Let's check our character to see if we need new adjustment to the proportion. And let's find the hip bone back tip. Adjusting the position of the iliac crest to follow the position of the hip bone back tip. And let's add the hip bone back tip hole. Let's increase the definition of the gluteus maximus. Let's increase the definition of the gluteus maximus muscle. Let's create a mask and bring the inner parts of the leg closer to the center of the model. And to back with the symmetry, let's use the smart resin. Notice this line that I'm creating coming from the hip bone front tip. I forget to turn on the symmetry and then fix it using the smart resin again. And don't link this line coming from the hip bone front tip with the line in the division of the thorax with the leg. and then more definition to the abdomen muscles. Now let's start adding the volume of the abdomen muscles, starting with the smaller one on the top. Just sketching some volumes. Let's use the proportion rules with the transpose tool to find our belly button. Adding more volume to the abdomen muscles. So that's our major volumes blocked. Let's take a break and see you in the next video.
学习过程中还有